Today's topic is SQL for data analysis. You people having some questions like can SQL can we use SQL for data analysis? May I know from the audience anyone thought like can we use SQL for data analysis? Means anyone having idea on that basic idea? Anyone can answer.
I think yes, we can use.
Yes, we can use SQL for data analysis. Like SQL is a programming language for dealing with relational database management type of systems. We will use SQL as a programming language. Basically, what we do is we will write a query, and with the query we can retrieve the data. That is what we are doing in SQL. Here in SQL, it can handle, store, modify, and delete data, and also store data in an organized way. And people, I noticed some are freshers for this SQL and all these type of things, right? RDBMS means it's a structured type of database where the data is represented in the form of tables and columns. Sorry, rows and columns or in the form of a table. That is called RDBMS basically. And coming to databases, there are two types of databases: relational and non-relational type of databases. Well, relational databases are well structured, and non-relational databases are not structured. For relational database management systems, one of the example is SQL, and for non-relational non-relational databases, it's MongoDB. So you can use these examples if you have encountered any of these type of questions, if anyone asks you. And who use SQL for data analysis? So you people think who will use SQL for data analysis, right?
The data analyst, data scientist can use the data.
Yeah. Anyone can use SQL for data analysis. Either a data analyst, Power BI developer, or anyone. Like how data analysts use SQL for data analysis, in the sense, see, basically majority of a data analysts or business analysts, these people work in Excel. Okay, in Excel, if they want to tally the outcome of any sum of some revenue related to these things, they will use SQL. So if they write any simple SQL query, they will get that outcome. So they will tally that SQL outcome with the Excel outcome, and they will continue their work. Power BI developers also use SQL to tally their visuals. Like whatever the visual we are visualizing in Power BI screen or Power BI canvas, for every visual, the ETL developer will create a view. Do you know anything about view? Anyone? View in SQL.
It's a virtual table.
Yeah, view is a virtual table, right? People ETL developers use view, and Power BI developers will create the visualization or a map or a visual or a chart, and they will tally that one with the visual to check that whether it is the correct one or not. Because Power BI there is some data modeling and other type of stuff. If we don't do the data modeling properly, we can't get required results. So that is the reason an ETL developer in backend will create a view for every visual, and he will tally with those steps to use SQL for data analysis. So what are the steps we need to consider or we need to look after for doing data analysis in SQL? First thing, we need to, anyone know how to import Excel sheets into MySQL? Anyone? I will show you how to do that. See, this is my MySQL workbench. Okay, is it visible? My screen is visible, right? So here, firstly, we need to click on create a new schema. For every database or for every dataset or anything, we need to create a schema. Okay, if you are importing any existing database, the schema will be created in the backend by some SQL developer or a database administrator, someone else. So you need to name your schema. Schema is nothing but the name of the database. Simply, like I'm writing car insurance. Okay, car insurance. So just click on apply, create schema car insurance. Means it will create a database and apply, finish. See here, already our car insurance schema was created, right? If you click on this, we can see the tables, views, procedures, and functions which are inside this schema. So if you see here, there are no tables here because we haven't created any tables, and just we have only created the schema, right? Need to import some Excel files, right? I will show you how to import that. Just right click on the schema and go to table data import wizard and click on browse, and here I'm having my data sets here. And another one condition for importing any Excel sheets or CSV type of documents into SQL, those are to be in the form of .csv. That's the main criteria. If not, it's not in the form of .csv, it will not show. The file will not be visible. See here, I'm having one of my data set here. Actually, it was in the form of Excel book, but it only shows the files which was in the CSV format. Wait, I will show you the properties. See here, you can observe here. It's an Excel workbook basically. It was in the form of Excel workbook .xlsx. So you need to be aware of this, right? You need to know about the criteria. So I'm showing this, that's the reason I'm showing. So for namesake, we will upload this .csv file. Okay, and then next, and here it was asking use existing table or create new table. Click on use existing table. Okay, sorry, it's a table, right? Not schema. Create new table. See, for this we are creating a new table in car insurance schema, and I want to name it as date, and then I am clicking on next. See, so you need to convert into date. Okay, and month is also in the form of text, and fiscal year is in the form of int. So we can go with that and click on next, finish. Click on refresh. See here, the date table was successfully imported into MySQL workbench. I will show you the date. I think somewhat disturbance in the table, I think so. Let's import another table. See, I had imported the fact stamps, car insurance fact stamps Excel sheet into MySQL. See here, we have got some values here. Likewise, we need to import the data sets, and then we can continue our SQL data analysis. Let's get back to this PPT. So the first step got completed. Import the Excel sheets into MySQL. After that, give the primary key, foreign key, and constraints if necessary. See, so for some of the tables, like most of the time, when we are dealing with the projects, means the dummy data sets, what will be the secondary key in that. So in that case, you need to you no need to give this primary key and foreign key and other constraints for that. Just leave it like that and continue your data analysis. But if you want to create any table in MySQL and perform some data, you want to perform any data analysis on that particular one, you need to give these constraints like primary key, foreign key, like not null. These type of constraints, like 5 type of constraints are there. These type of constraints you need to give to that particular table. Next, check with the ER diagram. Anyone was familiar with Power BI? Anyone? Yeah, okay. In Power BI, you know that Power Query, right? Yeah. What we will give some connections between the tables, one to one, one to many, many to one. Similarly, we are having some ER diagram type of stuff here, which the things which we need to do in the ER diagram are what were the things we need to do on Power Query, relationship view data modeling in Power BI. The similar things we need to do in ER diagram. Like I will show you how the ER diagram is. See, this is an example of that ER diagram. Like if you are having these many lot of tables, you should look into that ER diagram. Otherwise, your complete analysis will be gone. And you need to know about some relationships kind of things, like one to many to one, like those.
Sir, how do we define that?
Yeah, that's a good question. Like, see, we are having two different type of tables. One is called fact table, another one is called dimension table. See, what fact table will do, how we can say either it is a fact table or a dimension table. It should satisfy two criteria. So that is the first criteria. And the second criteria is, if we disturb any of the data in that particular table, it will show some impact on the, it must create some impact on the business. So we should consider that type of table as a fact table. If it doesn't matches any of those criteria, any of those two criteria, it should be considered as a dimension table. And another thing, in dimension table, there should be no duplicate values. Okay, or like in MySQL, and for that you need to write a query, right? See here, we are having how many. For this we need to write count rows type of, you need to use count rows type of function, so that it will give us how many rows are there. After that we need to create after that we need to use another type of function called distinct count. If distinct count not equal to the count rows, means I will take an example here. See, here we are having 1472 rows, and if the district code is equal to 1400, means the number of district codes in this particular column are equal to 1472, means we need to have different type of district codes that should be equal to a number of 1472. Then this row will not contain this row not have any duplicates. It means that if the distinct count of district code was less than 472, then we can say that we are having duplicate data in that. Yeah, you understood that? Yeah.
If they have
The criteria which I have mentioned is for fact tables. It should be a fact table completely. Yeah, okay. I will explain you. I will explain it at the ending. Okay, so the flow will not disturb. Okay, just remind me. I will definitely explain you. Okay, we need to check the ER diagram if there are multiple tables. Okay, next, normalize the table. Use 3 normalization techniques. We are having 5 type of normalization techniques, but we are at the basic level, right? I means we are not into the IT world, so we are at the basic level. So we are not having access to large databases. So we can use these 3 normalization techniques, and we can continue the SQL data analysis for SQL. And do you all of you know normalization? What is normalization and how does it works? Any of
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Like one person raised his voice. So yeah, okay. I will explain that one in detail. See, we are having 3 type of normalizations. Like first one is 1NF, second one is 2NF, and third one is 3NF. If you observe here, what is 1NF? First normalization, what we'll do in that, a single cell must not hold more than one value. See, here we are having ID column, name column, and phone number column. So here in phone number column we are having two different numbers here, right? Means here you can use this word atomicity equal to 1, means it will create an impact while you are delivering your answer. Use this kind of word atomicity. See, here we are having the column here, the row atomicity is equal to 2 because we are having 2 numbers here. But what in first normalization, what will we do is phone number, we need to update it up to this one, and we need to create another row for Raju, and we need to enter this phone number in that. So likewise we need to write proper SQL queries to do these type of normalization type of things. Normalization is not a syntax or anything in SQL, just it's a process. You need to remember about the process. We are removing the extra means rows which are having atomicity more than 1. We are taking that value out and we are assigning that value to that particular name again. That is a process included in 1NF. Okay, yeah. Next we are going to 2NF. Yeah, what is 2NF basically? A relation will be in 2NF if it is 1NF. So it should satisfy 1NF first. Then only we will consider it for the next step in the normalization. For doing 2NF, it should be satisfied 1NF conditions. And see, before 2NF, the table looks like this. And for 2NF, the condition is the all non-key attributes are functionally dependent on the, means here the primary key. I will cover. I said that I will cover that question, means that fact table question in the last, right? But I will clear it here. See, if you observe here, this is the first table. Can you see it's a dimension table or a fact table? Can anyone say that here it's a fact table or dimension table? The first one. May I know who asked the question? Means he asked me to explain, right? Can I know his name? Yeah, Akshay. Just take a wild guess. Take a guess and tell me that it's a fact table or a dimension table. Can anyone say no? Is it a dimension table? Can anyone say no? Okay, it's a fact table. Why? Because see, we are having customer ID here. I said 2 things, right? 2 criterias to satisfy the fact table. Those are, any of the columns in a table should have integer data type. See, here we are having integer data type here, so it satisfies the first condition. And second condition is, if we disturb any of those values in that column or in the table, our business should get impact. See, if you observe here, like what we call, if I had removed this Delhi and Pune locations from the table, so it will impact the business. Can anyone say it will impact or it doesn't impact?
It will.
Yeah, it will impact. Why? Means, see, if we consider it as a retail store data set, in a retail store data set we are having stores in different locations: Mumbai, Hyderabad, Chennai, Delhi and Pune. So if we want to means as a data analysis you need to perform some data analysis to improve some sales or optimize the inventory or something else, right? To do all of these things you need some required data. For that means you need a fulfilled data set or a database. If I remove these things, how can I how can I perform the data analysis and how can I optimize the inventory? If I remove Delhi and Pune, if I had considered these 5 locations, every location is getting 100 rupees. Means for 5 locations my sales revenue is 500 rupees, and I need to report my manager that sir, what we data diary store was getting 500 rupees revenue in the month of September. Okay, yeah, you are correct, Surya, that revenue was correct. So that based on that you can do inventory optimization also. So if in that case it will be correct. If I had removed Delhi and Pune out of this table, what will be my revenue, guys? For every location it's 100 rupees. For 5 locations it is 500. I'm removing 2 locations. What will be the revenue? Yeah,
300.
yeah, 300 is the revenue. So I will report to my manager that sir, I'm getting 300 as a revenue. So no, Surya, you are wrong. You have did some mistake somewhere. Or I will will contact the data diary stores and I will talk about that. So these are the things. If you are having a proper fact table, it should satisfy those 2 conditions. So you can understand, I think so, what is fact table and what is dimension table. Still anyone has doubt? Akshay?
No.
Yeah. Okay. We will go into enough. It should satisfy 1 enough, right? And other thing is the non-key attributes. Means these two are these store ID and store location will be the non-key attributes and are fully functionally dependent on primary key. So these customer ID was dependent on the store ID, and store ID depends on the store location. You understand my point, right? See, for customer ID, for store ID S1 there is a customer 1. For store ID S3 there is customer 2. So store ID is depending upon customer ID and customer ID is dependent on store ID. But customer ID 1 from Mumbai, can we say that? Who knows? We are having another store in Mumbai. It was S2. We don't know, right? Yeah. For that, store location was not dependent upon customer ID, right? For that, what we need to separate the store location from that particular table. Means we are removing the non-dependents from the table and we are forming the another table. That's what happened here. See, the customer ID and store ID. Store ID depends on customer ID. ID depends upon the store ID. So that's the reason these both lies on the same table. And store location was not dependent on the customer ID. So that is why we have separated that from the table. Whenever we do such type of process, like normalization type of process, increase means the efficiency will get increases. You will get the result as fast as possible. Okay, I think 2NF you got understood. 3NF. What is 3NF? Like a relation will be in 3NF if it is in 2NF and no transition dependency in the here in 3NF. They were interconnected. 3NF is stable. We are having ID, name, course ID, course, and here you can see that ID was totally dependent upon the name and name was dependent upon the course ID. Means if it's a database about data diary educational institution. Data diary educational institution is something which offers courses like SQL, Python and data science related courses. We are having that type of data set. Consider this data set imagine this data set as that type of data set. So here if you observe that ID is dependent upon the name, means Amit's ID is 1 and which course Amit had taken, S21 course. But SQL was not dependent upon these type of things, right? Is SQL only taken by Amit or ID1? No, right? It's also taken by Vivek. Do you got my point, guys?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So what we are doing is we are performing 3NF here. Likewise, what we done in 2NF, we are removing that particular column from the table and we are creating another table. See here, S21 is for SQL and P21 is for Python. So in course ID, I had created another table called course table, and in course table I am having columns called course ID and course. In that we are having S21, P21, SQL and Python as the courses. Like this, the 3NF works. Simply remember these points, guys. Like in 1NF, atomicity equal to 1. 2NF, 2NF, that non-dependent keys will be separated. And here, like which acts as the primary key and having its dependents will be get separated. So remember these points And if anyone asks this in your interview and all, you can easily tell these answers. So we have successfully completed normalization. See, guys, normalization is a very important topic for in interviews and all. Sometimes you will get questions about these type of things. If you explain these kind of questions in this way, people will think that you have some exposure on it and you have done some practice on this. They will think like that. Coming to the best practices, what are the best practices we can implement in SQL for data analysis? Like, write queries to get percentages in your result, which leads you to take better decisions. Like, I will show you an example here. This was my HR analytics SQL data analysis project. See, if you observe here, people belong to age group 26 to 35 are living are in the more percentage, means 41.46, nearer to 50% people are belongs to age group 26 to 35. So if you are using these kind of things, percentages, so that people can understood, they can gain some insights. If you mention 590 employees belongs to the age group 26 to 35, who knows, like if it will if the employee size of the particular company is more than one, like 10,000, then 5,000, then 590 will be the small number, right? It will be the 10% of that. So the best practice is create a percentage column beside it. Every time you are doing the data analysis, always try to create a percentage column. Use CTE to create table which makes your work much easier, like pivot tables in Excel. Like, people, you're aware of that, right? Same like views, CTE also works like the same. But here, CTE, it acts like a pivot table. What pivot table does in Excel is, if you want to create any chart or any visual in Excel, we need to create a pivot table for sure. Otherwise, we can't get that visual. Likewise, in CTE, in MySQL or SQL, CT works as that pivot table. Okay, how pivot table works is, it will create another table. It's a physical table. It appears to be like a physical table. See, here SQL query is about at CTE, and that syntax will be like that with CTE as, and we need to write a query in that. And after writing that, we can use this particular type of table in a query. Like, this is my customer insights database. Here I'm having five tables: baskets, country, customer, order, and products. Each table serves its own importance. For my analytics purpose and all, doing some data analysis, I have created a table called rule. What we are getting in this rule? Here I'm getting product ID and orders in a same table, which makes my work much easier. So this is the use of CTE. Document your SQL report with GitHub using Markdown. It's so important, guys. Like, see, all of the people, what they will do is, simply they will create the they will do the data analysis part for a long time. Like, they will spend one day or 2 days on that. For that hard work, you should do some makeup to that hard work, so that it will looks nice. It will attract the recruiters, and it will it will bring them to you. See, I will show you the difference. This is my Excel file after uploading it to the GitHub. See, what is the format here, means that what is the extension here. It's in .sql, analytics.sql. It looks like this. But what I did, I have converted it into the markdown .md. After that, markdown will look like this. Yeah, the query is here. The question is here, the query is here, and the result table is also here. Likewise, you can create markdowns, and you can impress the recruiters. And I will show you that you can use ChatGPT to do this. I will show you how to do that. Give you my SQL query and the SQL like this. Guys, while you are copying the results, just click the box. Every result will got highlighted. Just click Control C. One was product, another was, just use space. It will take means it will consider those as the column names and their column results. Click on enter. Do this thing, like copy this and paste in hranalytics.md file. You can edit this as well, how this looks, but it looks like this. Give you in a markdown type of format, but it skips that, I think so. Gives you like this. You need to copy that, paste it. Looks like product and order. Okay. Another best practice is, whenever you are if you are into Power BI and Python type of things, if you're having any project like car insurance, healthcare, of any type of projects, if you will not do such type of projects, you will you will get regret, means you will feel regret definitely. Like give some gap, like if you give any some gap to SQL or anything, means if you haven't touched that SQL part for 1 month or 2 weeks, you will forget those syntaxes. One of the best practices here I mentioned is do the SQL project similarly with your Python, Power BI, or Excel projects. Question and answers. Any questions, guys?